So let's jump into some third-party news. We don't do enough third-party news here on the podcast, but when we do, it's something that really needs to be brought to attention because it's unique and interesting itself. So at the end of last year, around December, the company known as 3-0, which does these licensed high-end Transformer non-transformable figures, showed off their Soundwave and Ravage based on the Bumblebee movie line. And it ran between, I think it was $250 to $300, and it has its market. It has its market and it has its people that are interested in that kind of product, but at the end of the day, it really doesn't speak to the average Transformer fan of the stuff that we usually buy and enjoy. Now, let's look over now to today with a third-party company called Lemon Tree Toys. And they've done some stuff in the past. The one that really caught my eye was that shockwave that turns into Galvatron's ship. And they're showing off here a very ambitious project that they now have the test shot with the colors and everything of, and it's pretty much ready to go outside of the final paint decos. And it's that of the LT-04 Blueberry, aka Bumblebee Movie Soundwave. What's fascinating about this is that it transforms and has an alt mode. Now, how is that fascinating? Well, Soundwave in the Bumblebee movie, while we know what the robot mode looks like, we've seen it, we even saw Ravage and his transformation and everything, but we've never seen what Soundwave looks like in his alt mode. There's no referential images, there's no production stuff. This is based purely on speculation of looking at the robot mode and trying to figure something out. It kind of reminds me of all those years ago when we used to look at Action Masters and try to figure out what those guys turned into before they became Action Masters. So this is really fascinating stuff. So the company of Lemon Tree, they pretty much, they went with the obvious route. They kind of looked at the history of how Soundwave toys have transformed throughout the years that turned into modular cassette kind of stuff. And they went that route, and you know what? In all honesty, it looks pretty good. And considering that this is a transformable Soundwave product, which is what people really want ultimately in the end, and it looks like Studio Series right now is probably going to be leaning away from the Bayverse and Bumblebee isn't part of the Bayverse, but the more live-action continuity kind of stuff right now. I think that this is a place where people who collect Studio Series could kind of rest for now and pick up this kind of stuff until Hasbro decides to kind of lean back into the live action kind of stuff for the Studio Series after they're done doing the Studio Series 86 stuff, because we have no indication really of the future, leaks or otherwise, of what Studio Series is going to do outside of their 86 line now, which is all based off the 1986 animated movie for people that are not paying attention to that. So this is really cool. It's, according to what they say here, it's 16 centimeters tall, which is, slightly larger than a Voyager, about in that average scale. Voyager's maybe a tall Voyager. And it comes with Ravage that transforms and can be stored inside him. Looks pretty cool. Again, the images right now are just the actual test shot, so it's just molded in color. None of the paint decos have been put on it. And it looks pretty stellar. It looks pretty stellar. Again, I really like to talk about stuff that is third party that I feel Hasbro has no immediate plans to do anytime soon, or Takara. And considering it's based off of a design that is completely unoriginal, that even more so kind of like catches my attention, because it makes me go, well, clearly if Hasbro or Takara ever do go this route and make a Soundwave, it's probably not going to have this alt mode. It'll probably be something, unless Lemon Tree got this spot on right here. But this is fascinating stuff. It really is. We don't have pre-orders right now. We don't have prices. We just have these images that all came from Weibo. And it looks really cool. It looks really cool. I dig this kind of stuff. Same thing. The Studio Series Optimus Prime from the Bumblebee movie was also a very beautiful toy. And it's kind of the same thing here, where a lot of those G1-inspired kind of designs that have that flavor of movie aesthetic are really appealing to a lot of us, and the Soundwave is no exception to the rule here. I really like it a lot. Let me know what you think about this. I mean, I just like that they were ambitious and they decided to kind of figure out their own alt mode without any kind of reference or, like a Josh Nizzy kind of like design sketch that is found in an art book somewhere obscurely. This is really cool. It's just them kind of looking to the past and trying to figure out something based on that. Really cool stuff. Let me know what you think.